the Foraging update, the most anticipated update ever in the history of Hypixel Skyblock. And hopefully this remains this way because we get consistent updates from here on out. The update that only took 4 years of development. Do you know how much you could get done in 4 years? There are 35,040 hours in 4 years, as long as there's not a leap year. Cut out a third of that for sleep and you still have 23,360 hours left. You could master 2 things by putting 10,000 hours into each. If you worked for $20 an hour, you would have made $467,200. Obviously this is a hypothetical, but still, the point stands. But what we got was the Foraging update. Was it worth the wait? Let me walk you through how I completely maxed a 4-year update in just 130 hours. But before we get into the video, I do want to ask you guys to please scroll down and subscribe. We are almost at 50K, and I also have a massive announcement. As of today, Code Yadi is a thing! Yay! So be sure whenever you are purchasing ranks, gems, boosters, or the like on the Hypixel store to use code Yadi for 5% off your purchase. It is the best way to support a creator, and I am so grateful that we finally have achieved this. I've heard code Yadi also gives bonus RNG. Now, unfortunately for me, update day was at the absolute worst possible time, as it seems most updates are for me. The week Foraging came out was the first week I had my new, hold on, prepare yourself, trigger warning, job. So I barely had any time to play during the week. I would literally wake up, work, come home, and stream the update till I fell asleep. And then I repeated that for 5 days. After a long day, I raced home to finally play the most coveted update of all time. I booted up my 1.21 mods, logged in, started doing the tutorial quest for Galatea, and I couldn't progress past Swoop because tree gifts were disabled. I mean, imagine that. Anyone who started the update before was home free, and tree gifts were disabled for a whole 3 hours. I went live expecting to play the Foraging update and had to wait 3 hours before I could actually play the Foraging update. You know how long I streamed for that day before I had to go to bed? 4 hours total. 3/4 of my stream was just me running around saying, man, it'd be really nice to play the Foraging update. And because I couldn't do the tutorial quest, I also couldn't do any of the hunting, or like 99% of the hunting. So I literally sat there for 3 hours, grinding bamboo, feeding pandas, because I couldn't do anything else. Apparently, I wasn't the only one experiencing issues though. There were a lot of issues when the update first came out, such as gemstone dupes, a massive list of bugs, and the update completely destroyed mining for like the first 2 weeks. Apparently, Core of the Mountain and some other stuff wasn't working, and it was just a crap show. I do want to take the time to point out that while it wasn't perfect, it was a lot better going from 1.8 to 121 than most people would have thought, me included. I do think the admins did a great job in this department, so give them credit, but they completely missed almost all the bugs reported on alpha, especially the gemstone dupe, which prices still have not recovered from. I don't know if the gemstone dupe was a real thing or gemstone prices just crashed, but a couple of people claimed to me that the gemstone dupe was reported on alpha and then it wasn't patched, so the people that reported it abused it on release. Again, this is all rumors, but if this is true, that is a massive issue with alpha. Personally, due to how the update release being so bug ridden, I wish we would not have had an open alpha. There's just too many issues with it. One more little gripe and then I'll move on. The update has officially been out for almost a month now. It was released on the 22nd, right? And it's July 19th, and they still haven't updated the wiki. I don't know how difficult it is to update the wiki, but it has been a month. I can't even look at the salt page because it isn't created yet. I didn't even know the candy comb was a thing until someone came into my chat and started talking about it. But putting all that aside, from here on out, the update was honestly great for me. I do think that most people who were expecting Foraging to be awesome and unique and have hundreds of hours worth of content were a bit let down. But this island is supposed to be the early game island, and then islands 2 and 3 are supposed to come out and release a ton more content. So I do think the people that felt content stricken will feel vindicated when those islands release. The reason why I truly enjoyed this update was because the meat of it was the attribute rework and the fusion system, which was just so cool. Just the way it works and the math behind it, I really enjoy stuff like this. Grinding the island itself felt like the Dwarven Mines release for me in terms of foraging, which I absolutely loved because I love Dwarven Mines. It was simple to grind, made lots of money on release, and had an easy set system to progress through. Notably, basically the heart of the mountain, and then for foraging, we also got the heart of the forest. For those of you that are OG enough, if you played Skyblock back before Dwarven Mines, mining as a skill was terrible. The best way to grind mining as a skill was on your island with your minions spawning ores and then just mining the ores. That was it. So I grinded day by day and chopped down a lot of trees, mostly fig trees over in this area because this area has the best loot. But unfortunately, I didn't make a super metric ton of coinage because I wasn't able to play it all day, every day. Seriously though, I did hear people making literally billions upon billions of coins. I mean, if you just take a look at these shard prices, like these shard prices are dead compared to the shard prices on release. Like each one of these common shards, uncommon, rare, they were all selling for like 500k, a mil, 2 mil plus the first couple days. It was absolutely nutty, especially from fusion. I know people that were making literally 200 mil an hour just fusing random stuff because people were willing to pay to win for it. The first guy to unlock a Jade Dragon egg was selling them at like a 100 to 200 mil markup, 2 players, and he probably sold at least 10 of them. That's an easy 1 to 2 billion coins in the span of what, 10-15 minutes? That's nuts. Speaking of which, I ended up getting my Jade Dragon a little bit later than everyone else, but way after it had died a solid amount in price. Now, obviously, it's way more dead than it was then, but when I got it, I think it was worth it. I wasn't actually Agatha level 5 like you needed, but Deathstreaks, being the GOAT gamer he is, offered to buy it for me for no markup. It was almost better that I was late to this point though, because contrary to what most people think, I actually ended up maxing my Jade Dragon at level 200 before Deathstreaks. How did this happen, Yadi? Because of another bug with the update. That's right, if you were ahead of the game and ended up hitting Foraging 54 early, whether from unlocking it from collections or purchasing it from Agatha's shop, there was a bug with tree gifts. If you were Foraging 54, you no longer receive foraging experience from tree gifts. This mattered a lot because that is where 80% of your foraging XP came from. Luckily for me, this was my trade-off for having to wait 2.5 hours before progressing through the tutorial. I would love to show you more actual gameplay from the update, but literally it just looks like this. Running around, chopping a tree, TPing, chopping a tree, seeing an invisibug, grabbing a berry, running around, chopping a tree. Fun gameplay. No, but I actually did really enjoy the gameplay. I like being able to turn my brain off and just play the game and not have to be thinking 24/7 on update day, because despite what most people think, update day makes a lot of money because it is overwhelming and because a lot of people don't understand drop rates on things, so sometimes you'll sell things underpriced. Most of the time, you'll have to buy things overpriced because it just takes time to learn the system. The fig route that I used that I think was the most efficient was starting at this tree, going to this one, going to this one, mining these berries on the way through, grabbing this tree, this tree, this tree, all the way back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think that's a total of 11 trees in the cycle. I don't remember exactly how long it takes them to respawn. It's not super long, but this was how I was able to get a 19.4k point PB in Agatha's contest, which I'm super proud of. I really wanted to hit 20k. I never did. I was sweating super hard. I would think 20k is possible. I was also able to grind out whispers this way using this fig root, which peaked at over 700,000 whispers per hour. I know, that's kind of nuts. Now, this does require you to have like 800 sweep to actually be able to pull this off, but luckily for me, I had 800 sweep because I basically had the update maxed. Look at the tree in all of its glory. It's all maxed. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yadi, how long did this take, you may be asking? Well, it took me 31 million whispers. Now, I also have 130 hours in the island. That's not like 24/7 grinding. I was AFKing contests a lot because contests you get a very solid amount of whispers from, but a lot of this grinding I did do myself from trees themselves. 31.15 million whispers to max the entire tree. Did you know that XP stops at 12.5 million whispers? Yeah. Did you also know that I maxed the tree and still don't have absorb 10? What is this requirement? I'm still 1.4 million logs behind, which I'm sure I'll get at some point, but come on. If you're curious on some of the other stats, I did end up dropping 83 chameleons. Since I had this tracker, I did not have this tracker the whole time, but for the majority of the time grinding, I did have this foraging tracker, which I believe is from Skyhanny. It could be from Skyblocker, but I believe it's from Skyhanny. So I dropped 83 chameleons. I gained 88 million foraging experience just from from the trees alone, not from tree gifts. I gained 841,000 Heart of the Forest experience, 1.7 million whispers from the trees alone, not the tree gifts, and I chopped 26,000 trees. And if you actually take a look at the tree gifts, it's closer to 30. I mean, Fig is 24.4, and then Mangrove is going to be 5,000. So 29.4, absolutely crazy. I also ended up getting 10 million Mangrove collection, and the reason why you want that is because of the Jade Scale perk from the Jade Dragon, which grants plus 15 Foraging Fortune and plus 4 Sweep for every digit in your Mangrove collection. If you haven't gotten this by now, I haven't super explained it, but Sweep was extremely important and will continue to be extremely important as we get the other islands as well. If any of you are curious about my Sweep breakdown, I can show it to you right now. In terms of flat bonuses, most is going to come from David's Cloak, which you get your Sweep from having a bunch of attributes. The next most comes from the Fig Stone Splitter, and then Sweep, which is the Heart of the Forest node, Forest Strength, Forest Speed, Jade Scale, Early Bird, etc. All totaling up to be 455 Sweep, and then we get a ton of additive bonuses. The strongest being Apex Predator from the Jade Dragon perk, which basically just gives you plus 0.1% additive Sweep for every single attribute you have maxed. Because there's 173 attributes, once it's maxed, you get 17.3% extra Sweep. And then 10% from the personal bonuses, 10% from the center of the forest, another 5% from the center of the forest. The center of the forest is actually such a strong thing. It might actually be stronger than the center of the mountain from the mining skill. I'm not actually sure. I haven't really compared them, but just the bonus amount of Sweep you get from this is nuts. The Mangrove route I used was over here. So if you're over by the Fig route, all you're going to do is head over to the left, and then you're just chopping down every single tree in this area. I wouldn't recommend doing Mangrove until you have Heart of the Forest 5 and you get Core of the Forest and you get a Jade Dragon, because otherwise you're probably just not going to be farming them super efficiently. The other reason why you want to be grinding Fig to try to max Whispers is because of the Tree Whisperer perk, which tree gifts give plus 200 Forest Whispers. The fastest trees to mine are Fig, therefore this is the fastest way to manufacture Whispers. That was what I used anyway. For those of you that are curious, if you head over to Agatha and you look at Agatha XP, I am at almost 12k XP over what you need for milestone 5, which is an absolutely absurd amount. I hope this matters in the future. I don't know if it will. I also hope that 31 million Forest Whispers matter in the future, but again, I don't know if it will. The other thing that was really funny, which I don't know if this counts as a bug or not, I would think that it does, is the fact that when you max Heart of the Forest, right? Like your max Heart of the Forest 7, and you have these daily bonuses which grant plus 1200 Heart of the Forest XP, you know how in mining they convert to powder once you are maxed? In foraging, they don't. I don't know why they don't. It's such like a simple thing to copy over from mining, I would think, as a player anyway. And it's kind of annoying because I definitely missed out on a solid amount of whispers just because that's not a thing. If anything, it's a big quality of life change that has a very positive effect on the game. And now let me take you to me maxing attributes. What's going on, boys? I think today is the day to finally max attributes for me and spend some money. So if you see my purse, 5.6 bill, you might think, oh my gosh, Yadi, you're rich. And you'd be right. But my purse was about 9 bill at the beginning of this update. And you know where it's all been? It's all been in Bazaar trying to buy up the last of these shards because manually grinding these shards is terrible. I also have this little summary over here from Sky Handy, which is super nice, and it shows that 2.4 bill to buy order every single shard. To insta buy all the shards I need is 2.9. That's an extra 500 mil. I'm not going to be insta buying these shards, but they're not filling because everybody's being super competitive with the buy orders. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the fusion system to our advantage. And I have a couple tools to help me. So I'm going to have all these linked in the description, but the first one is Sky Shards. Sky Shards was a project. I don't know if HS Fearless worked on this or if he just promoted it, but basically it's this massive calculator for how long it'll take you to get all the different shards. You can search for the shards. You can see the different recipes for all the shards. Look at a shard overview like this. But what we're going to be using is this little output shard right here for each individual shard that we have to get. And we might as well start with Starborn because that is the most expensive one. So if we search up Starborn, it'll bring us here, and these are all the different ways to make the Starborn shard. Now, I will also have another Excel thing linked, which I originally got from Death Streaks, which basically is just the best methods for each fusion. I don't know if this is updated or if this is actively taking the bizarre prices or like how easy it is to get a shard, but when I checked everything last night, it did seem accurate that everything on here was as cheap as it was going to get. The other thing I'll have linked down below is this Hypixel Skyblock things. Amazing spreadsheet. I can't believe I just found this now, but as you can see, like there's so much information. It does get kind of hard to read at times, but there's even more than you would think there is. There's like all these different tabs down here. Here is attribute fusion, base fusion. I'm going to be going over this super in depth when I post my fully comprehensive guide to hunting, but for now, I'm just going to link it in case you guys want to use it. This one also has a fusion calculator, which I haven't actually looked at or gotten to use yet, so maybe this is a more updated version of this, but I'll have all three of these linked down in the description. So to start, all we're going to do is we're going to look at this. So this is going to take 2 Blizzard and 5 Galaxy Fish to get 2 Starborns. We're not going to be able to start with Starborn. We're actually going to have to start with Galaxy Fish. And the best way to make Galaxy Fish is going to be, I believe, Ether Drake with Chameleon. And this also shows you the amount of shards you need in case you forget, or you forget about reptile bonus and all that stuff. So basically all we're going to do is let's head over to the bazaar, search up Ether Drake. 8.7k insta buys versus 1.7k insta sells in the last week. I'm sick of waiting. I think it's just time to finally get this stuff done. So from here on out, all I'm going to be doing is flipping back and forth, buying everything we need to craft, and maybe I'll do a little sped up montage of it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys when we're ready to fuse 2.5 billion coins worth of attributes. Alrighty, I spent a lot of money. As you can see, my purse only went down by like 200 mil just because it went from getting rid of the buy orders. Oh, and I forgot to claim that back, so it's even a little bit more money back to buying the stuff for fusion. So it was only an extra like 250 mil. I'm not sure exactly what my purse was at. And I very much hope that I bought exactly what I needed, because if I am off, I'm gonna be a little bit annoyed. So let's get into the fusions themselves. And just like that, we are done. Now, I actually do have a lot of shards left over. Like, I have 30 Ether Drake shards left over that I can turn around and sell. I have 26 Chameleon shards I have left over to sell. I don't know if I did my math incorrectly or if I just got lucky on fusions because of the reptile bonus, 20% chance to get 2 instead of 1. That's why people love using Chameleon for so many different fusions on top of Shellwise as well. But that's really nice because we're going to recoup some of those coins after we claim everything. But I am going to mass Siphon, and it's going to feel amazing. Already, 3, 2, 1. Boom! Max attributes plus 65 Skyblock XP, which I thought was going to bring me to the next level. I think it did bring me to the next level, but it's not giving me the level up message. That is okay. That's okay. Let's go, boys! Oh, maxed attributes. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. And now what we can literally do is just come into this page, claim, like, get all these shards out of here and sell them. 250 mil sitting in here just to sell off for that. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna recoup some of my coins. But wait, there's more. Some other parts of the update that I haven't actually taken the time to do yet because they were kind of expensive is number one, getting all the Emperor skulls I need to craft the tally. Now, I'm only actually 50% done with Ent Bestiary, and I have to finish this soon because I'm borrowing Pat's Giant Rod. Thank you, Pat. And in this amount of time, I got about 18 CM skulls, and I'm hoping by the time that I'm done, I'll get another 18. I'll be able to sell off for those, recoup some of the coins. But I do want to get max MP. So we're going to take these 18 out here. I did try buy ordering them. They didn't fill, so we're just going to end up buying the other 46 that we need, and we're going to make ourselves this tally. So there's our Emperor tally. Okay, so we're actually just going to supercraft these because why not? There we go. Get them all up to Emperor rings, and let's get it up to the Emperor artifact. Let's go! We're gonna head back to the island where it does say 516. I'm really annoyed I didn't get that juicy level up message, but that is a-okay. We're gonna grab this recombobulator, and we are going to recombobulate this as well as throw a sea creature enrichment on it. I have to go buy that. Bada bing, bada boom, and there is another 16 Skyblock XP. The last thing that I really have to buy from the update is they added 2 new drops to the Cruiser loot pool. 2 weapons, the Hellstorm Wand and the Tormentor. The Tormentor is replacing the super rare axe drop that I can't place the name of right now. I don't know why. And the Hellstorm Wand is just a new wand. I have been waiting for them to go down in price because they have been tanking in price. As you can see, this is all the way down to 120 mil, so we're just going to purchase that. And then Tormentors have dropped well below 300 mil, which is super nice, so we're going to purchase that. So that is another 400 mil spent. So today, in just this portion of the video, how much money have I spent? I've spent like 3 billion coins. That's a lot of coins. Subscribe and use code Yadi if you want me to spend more coins. Let's get these into the museum. So there's 15 Skyblock XP, and there is another 15 Skyblock XP, putting us at 516 and 70 out of 100 XP. The only XP that we have left in the update is going to be 8 within Bestiary and 10 because I still don't have Hunting 25 because I never went out of my way to get it. I figured I would get it passively, and I was very close to finishing it passively. So that'll be another 10. We'll get another 8 from Bestiary, and then as always, I am missing 3 Hoppity's Rabbits, but I did get a unique Divine on the same day that I got my code, so that was super cool. But yeah, max attributes. I do also want to mention that I will be coming out with a fully comprehensive guide to hunting extremely soon. Like, as soon as I have this video posted, I'm going to start working on it. The script is already almost done. I'm going to record it, get it out. I don't know if it'll be a week or when, but extremely soon. I originally wanted it out before it came to Maine, but because of IRL commitments, cough cough, job, I was unable to get it done then. But it's better late than never, especially because I still get so many questions from people that don't understand the system. I also want to take time right now to thank you all for everything you have done for me to put me in this position. The fact that I finally have a code is astronomically crazy. We're also almost at 50k subs, almost halfway to 100k where you get the YouTube plaque. I just never thought I would be in this position. So I do want to take the time to extend a heartfelt thank you. I also think the story about getting a code is kind of funny, so I'm going to tell that right now. Basically, the way it worked is I applied for a code, ended up getting denied. That was about a month ago. Candy Pat and Vid ended up applying for a code probably about, I don't know, a week to like 10 days ago. They got denied. Me and Pat were talking in the DMs, and you know, Pat was coming fresh off his denial. He was kind of upset about it. We were like, you know what? Let's tweet at Simon. Let's see if there's anything we can do. Here's the tweet, and you can pause and read through it or check out his Twitter if you want to read through it. This was kind of just like a last hope kind of thing, reaching out to Simon, seeing if there was anything he could do. I told him I would back him up. Here's my little thing backing him up. And what do you know? Simon replies a day later, says he will take a look, and it's not actually here. I believe Quaglet tweeted it, but it literally took him 13 minutes, and he opened the creator program. And because of that, Pat, me, and Modcraft all have codes now. So shout out to Pat, he's the GOAT. Be sure to use code Yadi for 5% off your purchases. It really is the best way to support me and all of the other creators on Skyblock. And now these holograms are actually up to date. You know, I actually have a code. So hopefully you guys weren't using code Yadi before it was a thing, because you wouldn't have gotten the discount. I also want to mention that I will be releasing a 1.21 mods video super soon, because I've been getting asked by a ton of people for one. So I'm going to put one out, have all the updated mods, everything, because because it's been a month. I mean, if people were going to port over to 1.21, they've probably done it by now. And if you guys enjoyed the video, again, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!